Welcome back to Resistance Chicks.
I'm here.
We're your hosts together, tag teaming
Everywhere.
it. Leah and
everybody
Michelle.
Here? Periscope, everybody.
Well, we can't do Facebook.
We ain't got no Facebook.
We
ain't
have
got no
Facebook.
I ain't got no book of the face, man.
Hence, hashtag Trump's social media. White
Trumpy!
House social media.
Trumpy, save us!
I think he's going to. I feel
Save
fairly
us!
optimistic about what has happened. Now, the funny thing is we're going to get into this. We're going to sing a song at the end.
And chicks down.
We're going to sing that at the end, actually.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned for that. Really excited about our show today. Although there's some stuff that I don't want to have to cover.
I didn't get an invitation, and I'm just kind of... You know who else didn't get an invitation to this social media summit that happened yesterday?
Paul Joseph Watson.
He was peeved, and
I would have been upset.
Millie didn't get one. Owen didn't get one, and all the band people, no band person got one. Laura Loomer didn't get one. Milo didn't get one. It's like, we don't want to touch those people because that's the media has deemed them.
Right.
They are outrageous.
Yeah, but there's nothing wrong with letting them speak.
They're outrageous because they're entertainers. They were entertainers as well as newscasters. It's like banning, honestly, have you seen some of the things that Jimmy Kimmel does at night on his show?
It's vile.
And he does political commentary, right?
Vile.
What if they took him off? Have you seen some of the things that, like, the Oliver Darcy, who tried to work for Alex Jones, does?
Right.
They're comedians and they're political commentaries, and people take them seriously,
right.
people listen to them.
Yeah.
And that Alex Jones and Milo, they're comedians, and that's what people don't understand. Comedians are outrageous. They are entertaining.
Yeah.
Do you know how boring it is to watch CNN? Do you know what wasn't boring though? Some guy from CNN after the social media summit, which we're going to cover, went up and challenged Sebastian Gorka to a fight.
No, he didn't.
Yes. It was it was a verbal brawl between the people invited and the people not invited.
Unbelievable.
The mainstream media.
That's hilarious. I have to tell you though, I am really excited about what's happening. Whether
censorship.
Whether
the whole resistance chicks down.
Alex Jones or anybody else that was banned got invited or not, Trump realizes that he will not win 2020 unless this gets taken care of. Now, all of the mainstream media outlets have been, I don't know if you're planning on showcasing any of this stuff, because I get sick to my stomach listening to these jokers, but everybody's been playing it off like, oh, this is all fake, Trump is blowing this out of proportion, it's no big deal. But then at the same time, they're coming out and they're saying, Trump's saying all this because, or Trump is doing this so that, you know, when he loses the election or something like that, he can blame it on social media. Well,
it will be. You will be. I guarantee you. Listen, you guys, and I might talk over Michelle today. I noticed that I did. I'm just got stuff in my head, and words just come out.
That's okay.
Listen, I actually been excited about this show all day because, you know what? I love you people. And I love that I do have a mini voice, even if it's a little voice. Even if it's like I've got laryngitis, I can still speak.
I think that you've got a good voice.
I do think you do. This is what we call pat yourself on the back.
Right.
Well, here's the thing. Somebody shared a video, and I don't even know the black lady's name. She's a black conservative.
She's awesome. Yeah, at the Blaze.
Yeah, maybe Michelle can find the little piece of the clips that just played like the beginning, because what she tells Mark Zuckerberg why she's losing her job at the Blaze is because she was killing it at like over millions of views on a lot of her things. Right.
Did you tweet it out?
I didn't tweet it out. I think I shared it though.
On where? Facebook?
I think so.
Okay.
But I'm having a hard time sharing it on our page. Who gets like 5 views?
Hang on. So everybody's asking about Facebook and why we got taken off. Maybe you could explain that briefly.
Well, we are considered fake news. We don't know at what point. We don't know why. Michelle contacted Facebook and said, "Yo, what's up?"
I'm sure down our live stream. I think we were talking about
a misunderstanding,
some sort of child sex scandal or something.
And they said that we were child pornography because we were talking about child pornography and how the pornographers should go to prison.
Right, but apparently you can't say that.
Apparently, you can't even like talk about how bad it is, right? But then Michelle contacted them and was like, "Hey, can we clear up this misunderstanding? We were, I know you're not supposed to talk about too much about Alex Jones unless it's disparagingly. You should be able to disparagingly talk about child, pedophiles and abusers.
We didn't say that, but you're getting to a point.
Anyways.
That's not what we told Facebook. I'm just saying.
Then they came back and said, well, that's not really the reason. The reason is you are fake news.
You've been flagged by independent fact checkers too many times that you share too many articles and you've been warned, which we never were warned.
So I wrote them and I have not received a response. They're not going to respond to me. I'm sure of it. I said, listen, we never received a warning. What, and any examples? Could you put examples of fake news? Like literally what they're saying is like, you should know what you're sharing is wrong. Now, Oxford University had a really good series. If you guys want something to do tonight, go to Oxford University and watch the Should You Deplatform People? And Widdicombe. And I'm so excited that they actually invited Katie Hopkins as part of this.
Yeah.
That Oxford Union. They should you deplatform people or not allow people? Now, they had half the people who said we should support no platforming, and then the other side was we should not support no platforming, which is very interesting that as a prestigious university, they couldn't have come up with a better way to say that.
I know.
And Widdicombe's is the very best speech on this, on why people should not be deplatformed. There's another fella who gave a really rousing speech, this guy here, Toby Young. And he gave a really good example that if you don't challenge people with negative opinions, then they actually flourish like roaches in the dark. And I guess they had, some guy on the BBC Hour, and they were able to challenge him, and their party lost seats. And he was exposed for being a skinhead and a white supremacist.
Right.
And he lost popularity. The idea is that the left cannot handle a debate based on real ideas. So what they do is just shut you down.
Right.
So that you can't speak. They're literally saying, Katie Hopkins says, I used to just be this annoying loudmouth woman, and now suddenly I'm just some white supremacist crazy person. And she says, she made a really good point. I guess Danny Baker was fired. You guys would know him in the UK, for tweeting out the prince, the newest prince, as a monkey in a suit, basically being paraded around. And she said, you took it as racist. He didn't mean it. He has been on the BBC long enough to know that if he meant something racist, he would be fired.
Right.
Same thing with, she said after the Manchester bombing that we need a final solution. She said, I'm not going to apologize for that, because when you apologize and when you back down, then they take your head off. She said, listen, I don't mind explanations, by the way. She said that, or explanations, but she said, you take it the wrong way.
Yeah.
I had a show on the LBC. Do you really think that I meant a final solution on getting rid of all of the religion that shall not be named or whatever? But to say that we need a final solution to terrorism is something that, yeah, we need a final solution for cancer. We need a final solution for leukemia. We need a final solution for childhood obesity. We need a final solution for childhood hunger. We need final solutions for these things. And to say a final solution, you can...
Well, so to read into that when someone says, we know what you meant when you said that. You can't just put words and meanings behind something, what somebody said.
The same thing with Roseanne Barr. Valerie Jarrett does look like that female character from Planet of the Apes. I'm sorry. I'm not saying that. Here they put a human with a little nose on there. There's a human in that mask.
Right.
Okay?
So is somehow that human...
and she's got the same kind of hair. Right. And to say that Valerie Jarrett looks like that character, I didn't know, and Roseanne Barr didn't know that Valerie Jarrett, who's Iranian, is actually African American. No, she's not. She's black. She can't be African American. She's Iranian. I don't know what she is, but I thought she was Arabic. Okay, Valerie Jarrett. So does she. So she's part black. She's part Iranian. And to say that Trump can look like a monkey because he's white,
right?
But a black person comparing them to a monkey because of racism, blah blah blah. You can't do that. And there's all these different jokes that aren't allowed anymore,
right? Well, and apparently there's something about watermelon you're supposed to know. Like, there's all these things that are unwritten that in the black community, somehow it's racist and all white people are supposed to know it's racist.
Right.
But we don't. But if we accidentally use it, then we're a racist by not knowing that it was a racist thing.
Okay, so deplatforming, no, then what you don't want to do is deplatform people. If you want to educate somebody and say, hey, guess what? If you bring a watermelon to a picnic and you're a white person, then you're racist. But if you bring a watermelon to a black person's picnic and you're black, then you're not racist.
Unbelievable.
But you know what? If I'm bringing a watermelon, we're having a good time because I love watermelon.
It's one of her favorites.
White, black, Asian, Hispanic, in between. So this really good speech went along well with Trump's no platforming, basically censorship.
I'm going to guess that's why they did it.
Why did he do it?
That's why they did their thing, knowing that Trump was going to do his
You think
thing.
so?
Yeah. God bless
I don't know.
you.
Thank you.
Tight.
So we're going to cover
Don't
that,
play that yet.
but
Don't
I'm going to
pull us
go backwards a little bit in some of my things, kind of like I like to have commercial breaks. I like to take a little, sometimes I like to stay on a train of thought, but then sometimes I like to throw some things in there to kind of get us, shake it up a little bit.
You're not connected yet. Don't press play.
AOC, otherwise known as Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, who, by the way, her chief executive, whatever, assistant, the chief Justice Democrats guy, who, like, his company's made millions of dollars off of all the donations that everybody sent in.
Okay.
It came out in a Washington Post interview. He goes, do you guys think that our Green New Deal is about the climate? Because we really want it to be an effective way to completely overhaul the American economic system. Has nothing to do with climate for them.
Wow. Surprise.
Hey. So anyways, recently, Nancy Pelosi threw AOC under the bus, her and her little Twitter people, and said something about how you can't just do politics on Twitter. And AOC came back and said, well, what do you think? You can buy ads on TV, but I can reach more people on Twitter than you can with your stupid ads. Blah, blah, blah. So they go back and forth like this, right? So then AOC calls her a racist.
It's so childish.
Nancy Pelosi a racist. So this is Trump's response to and this is the most savage thing that Trump does here is stand up for Nancy Pelosi.
I think it's great. Let's hear it.
I think Cortez is being very disrespectful to somebody that's been there a long time. I deal with Nancy Pelosi a lot, and we go back and forth, and it's fine. But I think that a group of people is being very disrespectful.
We have a
I
splitter.
agree, Trump.
To her. And you know what? I don't think that Nancy can let that go on. A group of people that came from, I don't know where they came from. I'm looking at this Omar from Minnesota. And if one half of the things they're saying about her are true, she shouldn't even be in office.
Wow.
But Cortez should treat Nancy Pelosi with respect. She should not be doing what she's doing. And I'll tell you something about Nancy Pelosi that you know better than I do. She is not a racist, okay? She is not a racist. For them to call her a racist is a disgrace.
Okay, so
Well
this
said,
is
Trump.
This is epic Trumpism. He has the ability to do something that you and I could never do. Nancy Pelosi has been on record saying that Trump colluded with Russia. She has been on record saying that she wants to impeach Donald Trump.
Right.
She has joined the party in hating Trump, stopping the president at every turn.
Yeah.
However, Trump knows that Nancy Pelosi is Washington establishment.
Right.
And is actually closer to his side than she is to AOC.
Right.
So what he does here
The AOC
is the art of the deal.
AOC is part of those like Lilliputins like coming to literally like take over everything.
Nancy Pelosi cannot hear this and not see this is a gift that he gave, and the gift spoils the heart.
It does.
This is what happens to the Grinch who stole Christmas, and it melts the heart, and his heart grew this big. Okay, Nancy Pelosi has a shriveled up heart. And you and I, as good as Christians as we are,
Would be difficult.
could never reach out to Nancy Pelosi to make her heart swell a little bit, to make her turn just a little bit.
Right.
And because Trump here gets in Nancy Pelosi's corner, whether she likes it or not, she's a female. She's going to hear that somebody stood up for her. She's going to hear these words in her heart. It's going to, there's going to be something that Donald Trump's going to get out of this.
Yeah, I agree.
Guarantee it, hands down, because that's the way the world turns. This is human nature.
Yeah.
You can bank on human nature.
Absolutely.
And you can bank on female human nature. Nancy Pelosi, he got her.
Yeah.
That's the best thing he could have done. You and I would never have been able to do it.
I think that's fantastic.
Because I hate her too much. I could never say anything like that.
At least Leah's honest.
He's a better Christian than most Christians. It's true. We're too emotional.
So, are we coming back to this speech summit? You said you're going to bounce around
Yeah.
today. All right, so now we're going to hit Epstein.
I'm going to on little clips that Trump said today.
Okay.
Okay, so we're going to cover Epstein. Y'all know he's been arrested.
Although, as I was Googling for an image today, take your time.
My hair is heavy and it's pulling on my head.
That's
with
fine.
my beret.
Okay. But I was Googling for an image. The fourth top image of Epstein that comes up on the first page. Actually, let's do this together because this will be a fun little exercise to do
Thanks.
as a
You
group.
should tell me when it
Group
looks okay.
exercise.
Group
We're going to go
exercise.
to this video here in a second, but before we do that, let me
I don't
let's
have
go.
a mirror. Be my mirror.
All right, so this is what I did. And then you go right here to images. And there's Trump. Okay, it's the fifth picture, excuse me.
It should be with Clinton. It's with Clinton.
Billionaire Jeffrey Epstein arrested. There was another one with Trump I had seen earlier when I...
But none with Clinton.
There's one right here. No, there's none with Clinton.
Oh, they've just wiped it clean.
Yeah, I mean, this is...
And
Here he is with Trump again. Here's one with Clinton. Right there.
There's another one, but you have to go
And there's
down.
one, but you have to go down. But like the top one is Trump right here. Is that not hilarious? Like, this is how slanted the. Do you want me to play this now, or you want to go back to? No, we're on Epstein. We'll do that in a minute.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're going back and forth. All right. So what I love here is this is Donald Trump saying we got to find out what went on the island.
I'm not a fan of Jeffrey Epstein, and you watched people yesterday saying that I threw him out of a club. I didn't want anything to do with him. That was many, many years ago. It shows you one thing, that I have good taste, okay? Now, other people, they went all over with him. They went to his island. They went all over the place. He was very well known in Palm Beach. His island, whatever his island was, wherever it is, I was never there. Find out the people that went to the island. But Jeffrey
Clinton.
Epstein was not somebody that I respected. I threw him out. In fact, I think the great James Patterson, who's a member of Mar-a-Lago, made a statement yesterday that many years ago I threw him out. I'm not a fan of Jeffrey Epstein.
So he really, I think, clears that up. The fact that they wanted to try to push Trump in with Jeffrey Epstein. Well,
Right.
Jeffrey Epstein was a mover and shaker, and he tried to get in with everybody, and he lived in the same Palm Beach area as Trump, and he was a member of Mar-a-Lago, and he accosted a girl there at the Mar-a-Lago, and Trump threw him out. He was never allowed back. So
Wow.
that settles it,
Yeah, that's
right?
crazy.
That totally settles that.
But they're still going to paint the picture of Trump with Epstein. They
Yeah,
won't
but they
stop.
really
You're saying
can't.
it settles it, but they're
But
not
it
going to
really
stop.
does. It really does settle it. Okay, so where am
Scotty
I?
says it's insane that the media is using this story to go after Trump and his connection to Epstein, but forget to talk about Clinton or anyone.
Yeah, they really have scrubbed it. Google scrubbed. Wikipedia scrubbed any connection with the Clintons. They are going all out to cover up for the Clintons, to let you know just how much the Clintons own this thing that we call the internet. It's absolutely insane, the power that they have. It's crazy. It's demonic, and it's we're going to take it back. So talking about that, I think Epstein and social media and the Clintons are all tied in together with this Trump summit. And this is a battle between wills. It's a battle between right and wrong. It's a battle between, I love how Katie Hopkins, we're talking about the free speech people are now on the right. The anti-free speech people are now on the left, because anti-free speech benefits the people on the left. Interesting enough, basically what the left is saying is that we want to have a debate with everybody who agrees with us. So when you go to like the Oxford Union, where you're supposed to have debates back and forth, you're literally just talking back and forth to people who agree with you. What good is a debate?
Right.
We're going to have a purple bunny. We're going to have a blue bunny. We're not going to have bunnies. We're going to have chickens. You know what I mean? Like, seriously, they're literally going to sit there and twiddle their thumbs in their little safe spaces. To never challenge ideas is absolutely ridiculous. And one girl brought up Hitler and said, well, Hitler was able to spread his message because he spoke a lot. So we can't let people who are bad speak a lot. Oh my God. No, Hitler was allowed to get to the forefront because people who disagreed with him weren't allowed to speak. Do you understand?
Book burning.
He was totalitarian in his speech. If other people were allowed to rise up and speak against him, then they could have dispelled his ideas. And that's how free speech works, is it works to dispel bad ideas. All right, speaking of that.
Dollars each, and I'm talking Twitter, Facebook, and Google, on lobbyists in Washington to affect the laws and have their own platforms that affect people's views. So I think we're all hearing their views loud and clear. What we're not hearing is the views of those who have been censored, manipulated, suppressed on social media. And so the president has hosted this forum in the White House to get those views heard and aired and share some of the concerns. And the concerns are not just sort of unpopular people or people with out of the mainstream viewpoints that are being censored or shadow banned. It's about the overall practices, the immunity that these companies have under the law. It is about, in my opinion, manipulation of election outcomes, which these companies are trying to accomplish. I mean, for example, in Ireland, they were able to suppress, Google was able to suppress search results for abortion issues to try to, I think, manipulate the outcome of that election. We're going to see that happening here, Laura, and so I think this is at a crisis level and requires...
So I love this woman here. She spoke at the social media summit, and in the beginning it was blah, blah, blah boring because he was introducing all kinds of people.
Yeah, it was.
But her little speech that she was able to give...
While you're looking for that, Patriot Gallery says Alex Milo, Gavin McGinnis, Laura Loomer, will possibly have a separate meeting. A YouTuber said who was at the summit. They might get a special private meeting with Trump.
Who said that?
I don't know. She just said someone who was at the summit said that.
I did not hear that.
That would be really awesome. I hope you're right, Mom.
Yeah. Let's see. I might have to just go to her.
So since you guys probably haven't watched the summit,
I'm going to play some pieces.
There was, what Trump was saying is, listen, I've already met with Google and I've met with these social media platforms and they're telling me one thing and how dishonest they are, because when I come and I talk to you guys I see how this is happening.
We're going to play that clip.
Historic day. Never before have so many online journalists and influencers come together in this building to discuss the future of social media. Each of you is fulfilling a vital role in our nation. You're challenging the media gatekeepers and the corporate censors to bring the facts straight to the American people. Together you reach more people than any television broadcast network by far. Free speech is a bedrock of American life. Our constitutional rights must be fiercely protected. And today I'm directing my administration to explore all regulatory and legislative solutions to protect free speech and the free speech rights of all Americans. We hope to see transparency, more accountability, and more freedom.
So, yesterday, somebody sends me, or Michelle sends me a screenshot of somebody put together Trump's tweets right before this meeting. And I went straight to Twitter, and
lo and behold,
Twitter
was down.
No, it wasn't down. It wasn't down.
You called me in a panic.
I wasn't down. I was just not on. Okay, for me, it wasn't Twitter being down.
Okay, technically it was down.
You gave the punchline.
Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't know we were waiting. I didn't know.
No, I'm trying to tell them. I'm trying to build momentum.
Okay, build momentum. Just forget I just said that.
Okay, so Michelle sends me.
Forgot it already.
The
Did you share it?
No,
what you're looking for?
No, I'm just gonna go to his. And he's tweeted a lot since then. This is awesome. He's so fantastic. Trumpy.
Let me just
Trumpty
pull up
Dumpty.
my screenshot of it.
Trumpty Dumpty. Where did he take it down? Come on, yeah. Wait. Where are you? Trump, why do you tweet so much?
I must have deleted it after I sent it to you.
I love you, Trump.
Oh, no, I sent you the link on Facebook. Let me just... I sent it in
Listen,
Messenger.
Here, I found it.
Okay.
Okay. So this thread. I couldn't believe this for my own eyes, so I needed to see it with my own eyes.
This is one of the best sets of tweets that Trump has ever tweeted.
And when I went to Twitter, it said I could not retrieve my tweets. And it said I had -1 followers, and I was following -1 people. And I told Michelle.
She called me out of panic.
You need to get on the computer and see what's going on, because I can't get on Twitter. I've been trying for 45 minutes. I had to see this for my own eyes. Now, okay, no, we weren't taken down off of Twitter. Twitter went down, and it went down twice.
On the day that Trump has his social media
During the
summit.
social media summit. I think it had to be done because so that conservatives, a lot of people were tweeting out, raise your hand if you thought today was the day they got me. Right during the social media summit on censorship.
Right.
And that was me. Raise my hand. They got me. They got me because I tweeted out a Tommy Robinson thing. They got me. They got me. They got me.
Well, Millie Weaver did a video during the social media summit. She's outside. She's covering it. And she's like, Twitter is literally down right now.
We finally figured out that Twitter was down, but most of us thought we were just taken off. Right? The big subject today, and we shouldn't live in that fear that normal people can just tweet things out and say things that are within the mainstream thing, thought. We're not mainstream anymore. We're not, I mean, seriously, the left isn't mainstream anymore, and they're pulling all of social media into the gutter.
Right. So let's get to these tweets by Trump, because they're so fantastic.
Go ahead. You can read them.
A big subject today at the White House Social Media Summit will be the tremendous dishonesty, bias, discrimination, and suppression practiced by certain companies. We will not let them get away with it much longer. The fake news media will also be there, but for a limited period. The fake news is not as important or as powerful as social media. They have lost tremendous credibility since that day in November 2016 that I came down the escalator with the person who was to become your future first lady when I ultimately leave office in 6 years or maybe 10 or 14. Just kidding. They will quickly go out of business for a lack of credibility or approval from the public. That's why they will all be endorsing me at some point, one way or the other. Could you imagine having sleepy Joe Biden or Alfred E. Newman or a very nervous and skinny version of Pocahontas, 1/1024th as your president, rather than what you have now, so great looking and smart, a true stable genius? Sorry to say that even social media will be driven out of business along with, and finally, the fake news media. Yes, those are real tweets.
And if you guys don't know who he's calling Pete Buttigieg.
Alfred P. Newman.
I don't even know how to spell it.
It's spelled, yeah, it's like that. That's how. Well, I don't think there's a 2 B's. I don't think it's but. I think it's B-U-T.
Well, this should come up. Because if somebody decided to put it together and Google cannot censor it.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
So he says.
So he's, for some weird reason, one of the top runners right now on the Democrat side of the presidential candidacy.
Because he's a gay guy, and they wanted a gay guy to try to run.
So that's why Trump said that. But let's look at these tweets here. He calls Elizabeth Warren a skinny version of Pocahontas. Nervous and skinny. And I think he meant skinny like as in she has a very small amount of Native American in her, 1/1024th. He talks about himself rather being a stable genius, great looking, smart, and so on and so forth. These tweets are just so wonderful.
As somebody said, we're not worthy.
Did they really?
Yeah, we're not worthy. We're not worthy of that. So, and he even referenced this kind of stuff. He loves when he drops this stuff.
Love this stuff.
He loves to watch his numbers go up. So in his
speech,
he talked about this. And he talked about how I watch my numbers go up. I watch my numbers go down. I watch them go up. I asked them, how does it go up? How do they go up? How do they go down? So we watched that little clip. We want the big clip. So I can give you guys a couple. I can show you the world.
That was not well done.
So
some people...
They're turning Little Mermaid black, by the way.
Who is?
They're turning Little Mermaid black.
Oh yeah, you know,
They
I'm
cast
all
them.
about inclusivity, but like Leah said, the only issue that I have with them making Little Mermaid a black child, which is totally fine with me, is how they gonna make her like red hair. Like Little Mermaid has like classic red hair. Are they gonna give her the red hair? They're not gonna give her red hair.
The reason it's no fun is because
Thank you very
no, that's not what we want. You just talk all the time, Trump. So here's the thing: you have the dark-haired, black-haired Snow White. You have some blonde-haired chicks. You've got the brown-haired Belle, right?
From Beauty and the Beast.
From Beauty and the Beast, and there are very few gingers, very few redheads represented.
Right.
In the Hollywood, very much and much less in the cartoons. Alfred P. Newman or whatever,
right.
I think is a little redhead there. But other than that, there's not very many. There's no redheaded or very many. I can't remember.
Well, that newish movie, the Tangled or whatever it was, not Tangled. What was the other one? Rapunzel or something.
Tangled was
the fierce warrior one with the red curly hair.
Oh, Brave.
Thank you.
Don't ask me how I know that. I think we had to drive.
We saw it in the drive-in.
Yeah,
you get stuck.
So, anyways, you took like the little girls who are redhead. They don't. They don't have a chick.
Well, you got put to the back seat
because you do have a black one. You had the little frog girl in Louisiana, the New Orleans one.
You can tell we really know our Disney movies.
So why not have a ginger? Why not have a redheaded one? Why do you have to turn her black?
Right.
Because a bunch of redheads.
Here's what I want to know,
like,
though. Why not just make new characters?
That's what I want to know.
Like, why is that so difficult?
Why can't you just come up with another black character Disney girl? Why does she have to be a black mermaid? It just literally makes no sense.
So this is a historic.
They put that together. We need that. That's our compilation.
We're gonna get taken off of YouTube for all the stuff we say.
No,
that's all right.
No, we're not, because that one really. I know it's right here. We watched it in the history.
So on YouTube, the White House has over 1 million subscribers. Okay, like they have such a huge following. And Trump says even in this speech, he's like, I'll have people come up and tell me like they can't find me because they're being censored from finding me.
Thank you very much.
Okay, we're gonna.
Thank you. Please sit down.
Of course, it's gonna be. Whoa. He thanks a bunch of people.
Citizen of the United States.
Oh, he goes into it doesn't
Working
get good for like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And Josh is.
He introduces Josh Hawley.
A rocket ship. Would I put out a?
Oh yeah,
That's it right there.
Would I be president?
Here. This is important.
It goes 7,000, 7,008, 6,998. Then they go 7,009, 6,074.
He's talking about how the numbers go up and down, and we have that all the time.
It goes up, and then they take it down, then it goes up. I'd never had that. Does anyone know what I'm talking about with this?
They remove like 15 subscribers from us like every day, and we gain like 15.
When I put out a beauty.
It's like a rocket ship when I put out a beauty.
Like when I said, remember I said somebody was spying on me? That thing was like a rocket. I get a call 2 minutes later. Did you say that? I said, yeah, I said that. Well, it's exploding. It's exploding. I turned out to be right. We turn out to be right about a lot of things.
And he also calls out James O'Keefe.
But I never had.
That was
I'm
awesome.
just saying
Project Veritas.
From the standpoint of somebody that maybe has used social media better than anybody, Josh, because I became president. I'm sure I could have done it, as we said. I would have. There's no question I would have done it either way. I said to Mark Burnett the other day, I said, so The Apprentice, had I never done The Apprentice, because it was a tremendous hit for 12 seasons, I said, had I never done The Apprentice, would I be president? He said, maybe not. And I said, I think I would have. But I'm always going to say that. I'm always going to say it. But it was a great show. But with social media, so I've never seen it before, where I go up and then come down, up, down, up, down. Now, ultimately, you get, but it goes very slowly. But I've never seen where it's affected. And I really believe people are,
Trump.
They're taking it up as it goes up. And it sometimes it comes down substantially. A number of months ago, I was at a certain number, many millions, and then all of a sudden, I was down over 1 million.
So he's talking about his own.
Israel, very important. But I gave representation in the strongest form of the Golan Heights, Israel. I talked about it, little quick tweet. They've been looking at it for 52 years. They've been trying to get it. They couldn't get it. They'd have many summits where people would fly in, talk about the Golan Heights, and then fly out. This went on many, many summits. It's about a 52-year period. I said, what happened? They said nothing. They'd fly in, they'd fly out. Some had beautiful planes, some didn't. Some probably didn't get there by plane, but they'd have many summits. I said, watch, I'm going to do this. And I said, we recognize the Golan Heights as being part of Israel. It was a big thing. I go, watch this. Boom, I press it. And within 2 seconds, we have breaking news. John Roberts of Fox was over. He said, we have breaking news. Please break it up. Doesn't matter what they're talking about, John does it. He breaks it up. Now, that's Twitter. That's social media. I call Twitter a typewriter. That's what I really call Twitter. Because it goes on to Facebook automatically, and it goes on to Instagram, and it goes on to television. More so Fox than it does CNN. If it's something bad, they'll put it on. If I have a spelling deal, they will put it on. Donald Trump spelled the word "the" wrong, you know. He doesn't know how to spell "the." He spelled it Thi. You know, they couldn't get any kind of a punctuation mistake. They put it on. So I'm very, very careful. I'm actually a good speller, but everyone said the fingers aren't as good as the brain. But it is true, and it's
we all have that problem.
I put out a social media statement, and I was telling Kellyanne the other day, I said, you know, I used to put out like a press release, right? And people would pick it up sort of, you know, next day, 2 days, they'd find it sitting on a desk. If I put out, we hardly do press releases anymore, because if I put out on social media a statement, like I'm going to in a little while, on something totally unrelated, but a very important statement, now they're going crazy. What is it? Tell me what. Watch. But it's very, very important. But if I put that out in a press release, I'm telling you, Kevin, people don't pick it up. It's me, same. If I put it out on social media, it's like an explosion.
Yeah.
Fox, CNN, crazy MSNBC, they're stone cold crazy. I made them a lot of money with The Apprentice, and I gave them a top show when they were dying on NBC. But they don't like me too much. They wanted a big extension. They used Arnold Schwarzenegger, the spin they put on it, or sometimes they'll leave it out. And then if there's something slightly negative, they'll make it, you know, headline news. Such as the previous administration did. And it's something that nobody ever thought would happen. Free speech is a bedrock of American life. Our constitutional rights must be fiercely protected. And I want you to know that we will always have your back. We're fighting for you very hard. We're going to be calling a big meeting of the companies
this is important.
in a week or two. They have to be here. And Josh is really leading a very strong group of people. This isn't just Josh. This is you leading a tremendous group, and they feel equally as strongly as you because they see the unfairness of what's happening. And
thank God for Dan Crenshaw.
We have a bigger voice than anybody. But
Dan Crenshaw knew. Josh Hawley knew. Marsha Blackburn knew. These people are smart.
Yeah.
They're good people.
Right.
They're literally the antithesis to the AOCs of this world.
And
they're
the Ilhan
smart,
Omar.
though.
Yeah.
They're good people.
Right.
And they support President
They got
Trump.
elected on their own merit, by the way.
Exactly.
we don't get covered fairly. Can you imagine if we were covered fairly? We had our best polls like yesterday, the best in history. Women, I think,
There he goes with the jobs again.
doing as much as we could to keep people not from coming. We have a 21,000 seat.
Let's see.
Well, so many people, I wouldn't believe it. But I know that we've been blocked. People come up to me and they say,
Yeah.
sir, I can't get you. I can't follow you. They make it impossible. These are people that are really good at what they do. They say they make it absolutely impossible. And, you know, we can't have it. We're not going to let it happen. Josh, we're not going to let it happen. And, you know, if they did it on both sides, if it were done to the other side, to the other group, and I'm representing everybody. I do. I represent everybody. I fully understand liberal. I fully understand Democrat. We want to get along. We want to make sure that everybody loves each other if that's possible. And maybe, I really believe it is. Someday it will be. I for a while have said that the thing that's going to bring us together is great success. Now we have tremendous success, greater than we've ever had before.
So this is who I wanted to play here.
I've admired for.
Let me tell you.
1,000 points higher. We could be 10,000 because there's no inflation. Big thing is inflation. There's no inflation. But we're doing so well.
Thank you, Mr. President. It's a tremendous honor to be here with a lot of people who I really respect and admire. The corrupt establishment that you talked about and the mainstream media have told a lot of people in this room that the social media censorship and the banning that we're experiencing is all in our heads. They're gaslighting us with this lie. Let me tell you about a couple of people I represent in my law practice and the civil rights work that we do. David Horowitz is a great American who's a supporter of yours and has been in the movement for many decades. Well, Twitter abruptly deplatformed him one day, took him off, said he was banned, and then he complained, and then they let him back on. And then the next day, they did the exact same thing to him. That's not an accident. James Damore is another great American who I represent. Mr. Damore complained internally about Google's discriminatory practices against conservatives and pushed for more balance. Not only was he fired for daring to do that, but then these social media platforms used their platforms to humiliate him publicly, weaponize their platforms, and make sure that he could not get a job in Silicon Valley. That's a disgrace. But it goes beyond that. These social media CEOs have come to Congress in front of many of these members of Congress here, and they've lied about what they do. They've lied about the data theft. They've lied about the media manipulation. And they can't get away with that. Now, Senator Blackburn knows from what happened to her on Twitter that these companies are trying to stop the ordinary men and women who you represent from hearing their voices. I'm very concerned that they affected the outcome of the 2018 election, and if we let them do what they've been doing, it's going to affect the outcome of the 2020 election as well. So, Mr. President, thank you so much for inviting everybody here to talk about these issues, and we're all behind you joining the fight to make sure that every American's voice is heard. Thank you very much.
So then he has on Lila Rose,
who is fantastic, by the way. I just love her.
Thank you so much, Mr. President. It's really an honor to be here. Thank you for doing this important summit. I represent Live Action. I'm the founder and president, and we are a pro-life organization which reaches millions of people every week with the truth about abortion and human dignity. We have been for 4 years banned from doing any advertising on Twitter, and they told us that in order to reinstate our accounts, we'd have to stop calling for the defunding of Planned Parenthood and stop sharing our pro-life content. Meanwhile, Planned Parenthood and other abortion groups continue to advertise. Last month, we were permanently suspended from Pinterest, and they accused us of spreading conspiracy theories and misinformation with our pro-life content with no evidence. And then news media groups picked up the narrative and spread it around. Meanwhile, abortion groups, including abortion clinics, post freely on Pinterest. And then recently, our videos have been viewed more highly than almost any other abortion-related content on YouTube. But YouTube, we made it to the first page of search results, but YouTube buried our pro-life videos and boosted pro-abortion videos. So this double standard and bias is a growing problem in big tech. Even though they say that they are politically neutral and they don't discriminate, they even testified before Congress and said that. So thank you so much to the administration and to you, Mr. President, for holding this very important summit. Thank you.
That's gotta be nerve-wracking.
Oh my gosh, yeah, you could tell. And you know what? She usually is like as you know, solid as can be, but I would be terrified.
So James O'Keefe was there, and he's got more insiders lined up. He says,
I'm in front of the Eisenhower office building, about to go.
I think James O'Keefe is the reason that this happened.
To the White House, the social media summit.
Because he proved it.
Never before have so many online journalists and influencers, and that's exactly what you are. You're journalists and you're influencers, come together in this building to discuss the future of social media. Each of you is fulfilling a vital role in our nation. You're challenging the media gatekeepers and the corporate censors to bring the facts straight to the American people. We have censorship like nobody has any understanding or nobody can believe. when you see the Google executives together and one of their executives decides to put it on the phone, right? That's right. Thank you. Oh, there he is. Stand up, please.
Here he is. He's putting out.
Stand up.
Getting called out.
How good.
That's awesome.
Hey, what a great job. Somebody said he's controversial. He's not controversial. He's truthful.
Whoa.
He's truthful. That was a great job. That was one of many. Thank you.
One of many.
He is looking. He does see.
I know.
So this is where I have to, I gotta say, this is why I honestly ignore 50%, 60%, 75% of the policies that Trump does. Because I know that he's going to social media and he's listening to what people are putting out.
Right.
And the idea of people sending people to Congress, or it's back to the biblical. It's constitutional based on biblical principles, where under Moses they had smaller groups and then bigger groups who sent a representative, then a bigger group who sent one representative.
Exactly.
And they got that idea in the Constitution from the Bible. Many of the things in the Constitution, the idea of it is actually in Scripture.
Yeah.
Okay? The people didn't quote chapter and verse because they knew where it was in the Bible back then. Michelle has a really good video from David Barton talked about that. There's 157 idioms that we say.
200 and some odd.
I thought it was 157.
It's a lot. It's
anyways,
like
it's a lot.
271, I think.
There's a lot of idioms that we say that are actually biblical. A leopard can't change his spots. Cleanliness next to godliness. Things like that. They're in the Bible. And people didn't need to quote chapter and verse because everybody just knew it was in the Bible. Now, as long as I know that Donald Trump is listening to people on social media, then I will support Donald Trump. Right. Because I know that for the most part, the people that he is listening to are people that I tend to agree with. Small government, right? I don't need everybody to be the same as me. But these people are people who believe in the Constitution. Mm-hmm. They're people who believe in the Declaration. They believe in small government. And they don't believe in going out and doing foreign wars.
Right.
A large portion of them are pro-life. And a good majority of them believe in the Christian foundation of this country, even if they're not Christians. They're Christians and Jews.
The fact that Donald Trump is listening to the people that say, we actually want you, Mr. President, to have less power. We want the government to have less power. And Trump says, okay, I'll listen to you.
Right.
You know, is better than him listening to the people that say, we want you to have all the power. We want the government to have all the power.
If he was bombing everybody every day, then the media would actually be happy.
Right.
Well, we are a big company. We're going to say it. People who voted for the current president do not agree with our definition of fairness.
They're not objective peace. They're not an objective source of information.
They have a fairness doctrine, and they said the people who voted for Donald Trump do not agree in their definition of fairness. Literally, 50% of people in this country, they think it's morally right to censor them.
Right.
I've watched some of these scenes that have been taped and gotten through, talented people, by the way, but gotten through and gotten to the public, where you see the hatred of our party, of our people, of our voice. And you say, that's the collusion.
We didn't know how far against until we had certain of our friends and geniuses that broke into boardrooms and got them right in the middle of a meeting. That was incredible. What a service she did, okay? You don't get credit for it, you should get credit for it.
All I can say is Project Veritas' journalism was vindicated today by the President of the United States. And I'm telling you, a lot of the sources are going to be inspired, and I think a lot of them are going to come forward that are coming to us now. So stay tuned for more journalism, and I hope the press takes this quite seriously.
I hope so,
well
too.
Done, James
because he says, it's a moment when the tides are changing. Project Veritas is finding more evidence of tech bias. Many more insiders are lining up. Inspired by our Facebook, Pinterest, and Google insiders, we're dotting our I's and we're crossing our T's on new stories at multiple companies. New normal.
Wow.
So
what I'm seeing and what we're finding, the more that James O'Keefe exposes, the more that these people get exposed, the more they've started to own it and come out and just say, well, listen, it's our right to censor. We believe you're wrong and we have every right. And that's actually good news. Because if they come out and they admit what they are doing, whether they're not admitting that it's wrong, they're saying that they're doing it for a righteous cause, you know, then it's like, oh, okay, then we can make legislation, we can pass laws.
You want to, here's the thing. I don't want people as lemmings to jump over a cliff. All right. I honestly would love to sit down and just debate these people and win on merit alone.
Right. Which is not hard to do.
Here's the thing
with these people.
What happened in 2016 is that the people like us, their voice got out.
Yeah.
And when normal people heard our voice, the people in the middle, they changed their mind on things.
Right.
There are independents. There are people who weigh both sides of an argument and listen to, but you haven't had two sides to any argument ever.
Right.
Ever since the turn of the century. Ever since the early 1900s. You've only had one side. FDR was like, this is what we're going to do. There's no debating it. We're going to do this.
Right.
Right? And without social media, you only have, Johnny Carson bringing on people?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where do you get, who's that other gray-haired guy who used to have people on? Phil Donahue. Donahue used to have some people on. You used to hear people, maybe some people from Oprah. But other than that, there was no other side to the voice. It was just Christians who would go to conferences or in churches and share videos and tapes.
Yeah.
So the internet came about, and then there was Fox News, and we're stuck with Fox News. And literally, Fox News is like eating cereal for breakfast, and it's like, or cereal for dinner, like over and over and over again. It gets to be tiresome, but it's the only other alternative, right? And it's only one.
Yeah.
And then you have these independent people want to have somebody else break things down. There are people who can get behind the scenes, and Alex Jones was one of those voices that people were following, millions of people were following. I didn't know he was until 2016.
Yeah.
Because people were sharing him on Facebook. I wouldn't have known who he was until Mom started playing him, and he was really interesting. He was really captivating, and I liked the way he spun the information that the mainstream media and Fox News didn't spin it in that way. And I'm not saying spin it, explain it, right? Yeah. You need to talk about things.
Yeah.
Right? We all should sit down and talk about things. And we should have different people with different opinions. But literally, when we watch the mainstream media, we only hear one side. Well, the mainstream media wants to make sure there's only one side still.
Right.
They don't want the world to hear a second opinion. You go to the doctor. Oh, you're going to die in 6 months. Well, I'm going to go get a second opinion.
Right.
I'm going to go find somebody else, and then they save your life.
Right.
And I think that that's what's happening is that the media is like, you're going to die in 6 months. Like, I'm going to get a second opinion. Oh, look at this. I just need to change my diet, and I'm fine. I'm healed of cancer. Thanks.
Right.
Like, oh, you should have died, you idiot. I told you at 6 months. Why would you stop? You're supposed to be dead. I'm the doctor. Why wouldn't you take my advice? You should just be dead.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's the media. Just die already.
Yeah.
So I'm going to play Josh Hawley's, there's only a short segment here of what
Another round of applause to the president.
He's like my age
of the United
younger.
States for his leadership on this issue. He seems a lot older. The media says, the establishment media, the fake media, they say, oh, there's no censorship in social media. That's all made up. That's all fake. You and I know that that's not true. You and I know the truth is that the social media giants would love to shut us down. They would love to shut us up. They would love to shut him up more than anything else, and we can't let them. And that's why we need to step up now, and I think we need to say to them, here's the deal. Google, Facebook, Twitter, they've gotten these special deals from government. They've gotten a special giveaway from government. They're treated unlike anybody else. If they want to keep their special deal, here's the bargain. They have to quit discriminating against conservatives. You agree with that? No more. No more discrimination.
Not just conservatives, though. It's just anybody, any voice that they disagree with.
That's all we're asking for. They ought to abide by the same principles of free speech and the First Amendment that this country embraces, that we love and call our own. And I don't think it's too much to ask. for these huge tech platforms who've gotten rich off of our information, right? Off of our data, off of everything we've given them. They've gotten rich off that. They've gotten rich off their special privileges from government. They want to keep those. They shouldn't discriminate. They shouldn't censor. They shouldn't shut us down. I want to thank the President again for his incredible leadership. Thank you for allowing me to be here. Thank you, Mr. President, for all that you do.
He's a constitutional lawyer, by the way.
Awesome.
Constitutional lawyer. All right. So, let's see. We probably listened to that clip, but let's see.
This is a historic day. Never before have so many online journalists and influencers, and that's exactly what you are. You're journalists and you're influencers, come together in this building to discuss the future of social media. Each of you is fulfilling a vital role in our nation. You're challenging the media gatekeepers and the corporate censors to bring the facts straight to the American people, and that's what you're doing. You're going right to the people. Possibly we wouldn't be here right now. I asked somebody, what do you think I'd do without social media? Would I be here? Because I said, I think so.
We did watch that
I
part.
like that he said, would I be here? He has to say, he has to say that he would be there, but he says, I don't think I really would be here.
And why are we talking so much about this? Because we have Epstein to talk about. We could talk about Tommy Robinson and all these big stories. We will not be able to bring you all of these big stories if they continue to censor us. And that's why this story takes precedence over, I think,
we can talk about the trip to, the Grand Canyon, but if they take the road away, I can't even get there to tell you about it.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's talk about the road being busted up.
Right. So I know that for those of you that maybe don't experience this because you're just a viewer and you don't quite feel I know you do really feel the frustration, but maybe not in the same manner. And you're like, okay, Leah Michelle, why are you always talking about being censored? Why are you always hammering this issue? Yada, yada, yada. In my memories on Facebook, it showed up a video. Do you guys remember all the times that we've had Horatio on, our UK correspondent? And, it just showed up on my Facebook memories, 1 or 2 years ago or something like that. And we had streamed that video that we did with him live. And on Facebook, it had 1,450 views. And that was just Facebook alone, not including, I don't know, I haven't gone back to check what the YouTube video count was, but we used to get thousands and thousands of views on every single video that we did.
Facebook was hard to get views on.
We're lucky to get 300 or 400 views on one video that we do, and we've been taken off of Facebook live streaming, so we can't even put our videos up there. We have to share the YouTube video. So this is important. Lee and I are going to continue to do what we're doing regardless. You guys will have to find us someplace if we get kicked off of these platforms. I know that Jay has the Patriot channel, which is also called VTuvo. You guys can check that out, and I want you to be supporting it. But regardless, we're going to be somewhere. Even if 50 of you show up, even if 5 of you show up, we're going to be there and we're going to say it. But how many more lives can be changed if we and everybody else that are content creators are able to spread the word and get out there? There's so many people that we have as Resistance Chicks followers, and I'll get messages like, wow, I haven't seen you girls in forever. I just stumbled upon you because I was searching for a certain video and your posts used to come in my feed all the time.
Right.
Exactly. So it really is important.
All right. So here's Jim Hansen, and he spoke about the social media summit.
What was accomplished? We talked about how to lead the counterattack against viewpoint discrimination by the major tech companies. They do it. They lie about saying they do it. And what we've got now is a plan to go ahead and use the powers of Congress, use the executive agency's investigative powers, and we're going to look at their practices and show that they can no longer blithely discriminate against viewpoints they don't like.
Liz?
Just out of curiosity, don't you have to somehow legally identify these companies as media companies or broadcast or something in order to have the sort of fairness doctrine apply to them? It seems to me Congress has to get involved here, yes?
No. Only if you want to do a fairness doctrine, perhaps. But you can look at the monopoly power they have. The FTC can look at that. You can look at whether they're providing an in-kind contribution to Democrat candidates by stifling conservative viewpoints and Republican voices. And you can have the FCC look at whether they're acting as publishers as opposed to an unbiased platform. All of those can be investigated without Congress.
Jim, may I just say, a group of Republicans, does this mean that you're all pushing forward for government intervention? Is that what you're saying?
No, we want investigation, and we want them to change their ways on their own side. They should be treating everyone fairly. They're not. We want them to do that. We don't want the government to have to act to do that. But investigation is not action, and maybe that will prompt them to do the right thing.
Jim Hansen, we love you. We would love to have you come back, but with all the breaking news, we have to leave it at...
Okay, so what you're gonna love this. At the end, there was question time, and I was really upset because
they didn't stream it. I don't understand why they didn't.
Yeah,
maybe because they didn't want to give voice to the people they're trying to give the voice to, or something. I have no idea.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy.
Because I know Diamond and Silk were there. I grabbed that screenshot for our thumbnail, but I didn't even see Diamond and Silk there. They didn't have. I couldn't find the video footage of that.
Yeah, so. Actually, I might have to. I'm going to bring this up because I had it up, but now it's gone. Sebastian Gorka gets called out by a CNN guy. Let's see.
Yeah, we should have put this in the title.
Sebastian Gorka. Hang on.
Wicked Psych says, Michelle, most of the chat names are new names on Friday nights with no new viewer count any higher. That's a really good point.
Right, exactly. Okay, so Sebastian Gorka, just watch. This is some CNN activist reporter, they call him activist, Karim.
There's an amazing video. The full video is up on my Twitter feed at Seb Gorka, SEBGORKA, Raheem Kassam at Human Events, Daily Caller. They've written it up with the full video, not the doctored one that Jim Acosta and others have posted. And you see how this all begins. Number one, the president gave his incredible press conference on the census and the citizenship question with Attorney General Barr. They make the statement, they leave the podium, they walk back into the Oval Office. We are sitting there, guests of the president. We've just come from the social media summit, and this jerk, Brian Karim, screams at the president as he's leaving, "Are you taking any questions?" And, I mean, like a crazed man. And when he realizes that the president's not taking any questions, so that we can hear it under his voice, he says, "That effing moron."
Wow.
To the president.
In the White House.
One of us.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the Rose Garden. In the Rose Garden.
In the Rose
So
Garden.
one of us looks at Brian, this is where the tape begins, and says, "Don't be sad, Brian." This is when Brian Karim of Playboy and CNN points to all of us in the Rose Garden, guests of the president, and says, "You are all demonically possessed." That's when I lose it. That's when I recognize this guy from the way he verbally abused Sarah Huckabee Sanders.
Yeah.
I stood up and I said, "And you call yourself a journalist?" And that's when Brian Karim, John, in front of everybody, invites me outside for a fight.
I saw that. It was unbelievable. It was like he was a kid in the schoolyard.
So childish.
It was ridiculous. Ridiculous.
It's showing what's really happening.
This is why the president says enemies of the people with regards to fake news.
They have no other recourse than violence.
I'm really sad, John,
when
that
they
it took
get so
me,
upset.
a legal immigrant to the United States, former deputy to the president, it took me to stand up to these kinds of people.
Unbelievable.
Are you ready to see it?
I want to see it. I have not seen this yet.
Now, Donald Trump tweeted this out and said Sebastian Gorka could have taken him.
Video. The full video is up on my Twitter feed at Seb Gorka.
We're gonna find it here. We're gonna find your full video. Come on, where's your full?
We have a dog trying to make a bed in a dog bed that's literally not scratchable. That's what you're hearing in the background.
Of course, he's getting a lot of. That's a picture of it. He's getting a lot of press about this. This is hilarious. Oh my gosh, she's more and more. Okay, I have to find the link from Human Events. It looks like.
This is craziness. It's so childish. I cannot even imagine. I mean, it's almost like asking for a duel, but not.
It is, exactly.
Let's get it, girl.
Get it, girl. Get it,
Is this the video right here?
I think so. No, this isn't the full video.
That's after the fact. There it is. He did say you're not a journalist.
You're not a journalist, you're a punk. But there is more to this video.
Oh my gosh.
There's more to this video. Let's see. He just... Come on.
I like what Scotty has to say. Leah and Michelle are top-notch women, completely in tune with reality. It's hard to find like-minded people in your town. Thank you, Scotty.
It is.
Well said. It is really difficult.
Here it is.
Standing alone, this is a group of people that are eager for demonic possession.
You're a journalist, right?
Hey, come on over here and talk to me, brother. We can go outside and have a long conversation.
You're threatening me now in the White House. In the Rose Garden. You're threatening me in the Rose Garden. You are a punk. You're not a journalist. You're a punk.
Go home. Journalist, go home. Hey, Gorka, get a job.
Hey, just for the record, he'd kick your punk ass.
Okay, this is like gotten way out of hand. This is so ridiculous.
So Joy Villa got into a little bit of a scuffle too here. She likes attention. But her dress was pretty cool. It said freedom at the bottom.
We didn't have to. Because we're citizen journalists and we respect you guys. But you got to stop reporting fake news. None of us want to do interviews. None of us want to talk to you. The president doesn't. We don't need to have that. We just have our voice.
That's not journalism. That's having a voice.
That is journalism.
No, a copy editor embedded facts is what constitutes legitimate journalism. When you have a staff, if you have a staff of people that verify your facts, then you can call yourself a reporter. You have an opinion. Label yourself as an opinion. When I write a piece that's an opinion, I do. And when I write a feature, it's labeled news. And when it's a feature, it's labeled news. And when it's an opinion, it's labeled opinion. That's the difference.
You just threatened Gorka just a minute ago. You told him to go outside.
I said I would talk to him. I didn't threaten.
You know what that means. Everybody knows what that means. What are you going to do? You can talk to him right here.
I can talk.
Why would you take him outside?
I'll be happy to talk.
Just be a gentleman.
That is being a gentleman. I didn't threaten to kick his butt. I said I would talk to him. I said I would talk to him. No, man.
Wow. This is so ridiculous. These people...
But it shows, I actually like it.
I know.
It shows everybody for where everybody is.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I agree.
I like it. I'm happy that people are just finally out here.
Right.
So let's see. Here was the article where they put the Breitbart has an article on it. So. All right.
Adeline says they don't verify the facts. They manufacture their own, and then they force feed it to the sheep. Well said.
Yes, that is true. Right afterwards, Trump talked about his citizenship question. It was kind of the air let out of the balloon. They're going to stop trying to force it onto the census, and they're going to try to get how many citizens there are in the country from existing data. I guess Trump thinks this is a good idea. So does Attorney General Barr. The idea is you don't want to count illegal immigrants because then the Democrats get more seats in Congress.
Exactly.
So there will be raids, ICE raids on Sunday.
Wow.
Donald Trump says we're focused on criminals. Nancy Pelosi let everybody know, all the Democrats know, so the Democrats could let people know in their districts they could hide.
Yeah.
If your constituents are illegal immigrants, then you're not representing America, right? They're not here legally.
But here's the thing, though. They get away with being able to say that because they do count them as Americans. They want them to be, as soon as you cross over the border, you are a citizen. It doesn't matter whether you came here legally or illegally. They don't want it to be illegal to come over to the United States.
Well, because they want their votes.
Exactly.
So this is Donald Trump talking about the ICE raids.
We're not giving warning. No, we're not giving warning. There's nothing to be secret about. Can I tell you what? There's nothing to be secret about. ICE is law enforcement. They're great patriots. They have a tough job. Nothing to be secret about. If the word gets out, it gets out, because hundreds of people know about it. It's a major operation. So if the word gets out, it gets out. It starts on Sunday, and they're going to take people out, and they're going to bring them back to their countries, or they're going to take criminals out, put them in prison, or put them in prison in the countries they came from. We're focused on criminals as much as we can before we do anything else.
We're focused on criminals. Why is the left so upset about that?
Because we want the criminals. We want them all.
We want... Okay. So before we go to Epstein, we're going to take our little commercial break.
Okay.
Viral video shows U.S. commando leaping onto a drug submarine in the Pacific. So the U.S. Coast Guard has published a stunning video of what's being described as a high-stakes intervention which netted 17,000 pounds of cocaine near American coastal waters.
Oh, my gosh.
The intercept of a submarine, like drug smuggling vessel.
Hang on. There are submarines that smuggle drugs. You have got to be kidding me.
The movies are real now.
Oh, my gosh. I honestly, that's a new one for me. I thought that was fantasy. I had no idea they had submarines that smuggled drugs.
What was the movie with Sean Connery?
Oh my gosh.
Where they had all the superheroes, and one guy had an underground, the Indian guy.
Oh, the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
They had an underground vessel, right? Okay, so
Captain Nemo.
Yeah, Nemo. Let's see. The intercept of a submarine-like drug smuggling vessel took place last month in what's only being described as the East Pacific Ocean. Video of the operation is going viral when one Coast Guard commando actually leaps onto the half-submerged vessel as it travels at a high rate of speed as it refuses to stop. It's going to be hard to get on, one Coast Guard operative is heard shouting to a partner. The commando then takes a daring leap onto the sub and bangs on the vessel's hatch before the smugglers open it during the raid.
What?
In total, 5 drug smugglers were arrested and handed over to the DEA for proprosecution. In a major bust described as one of a series of reported seizures, which were worth $500 million.
You know, I wanted to be in the Coast Guard when I was a teenager. You thought about it too, because they send out good
No, I
stuff.
never did. You did.
I really wanted to be in the Coast Guard.
They did send out. I couldn't do it. Both President Trump
I'm glad I did not go that
Thank you, Jesus. And Vice President Pence publicly celebrated and acknowledged the record drug haul.
Stop your boat now! Stop your boat! Stop your boat! They can't hear him if they're in the submarine, though. Right? Did you tell them the total $569 million worth of drugs?
$500 million, yeah.
Unbelievable. Like, seriously, I had no idea you could buy a submarine on Amazon. Like, where do you get yourself a little submarine? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Look at these Coast Guard people. Look at him. Oh, he's on, and then cut out the video. I like how they said CBS News, real news. What you got on your face?
What do I got on my face?
I don't know, something black.
Most of the vessels underwater, so it's hard to pick out. They are painted blue.
So it's like a little submarine. Like, it's kind of like a ship-sized submarine.
I'm guessing
they're just trying to smuggle drugs incognito.
I'm guessing it doesn't go completely underwater.
Right. Okay.
We
smuggle drugs in a gray submarine.
Blue.
A gray submarine. Was it blue? Mm-hmm. Looked kind of gray to me.
Yeah. Speaking of rain, and
my
water,
head was in the way. Jay said they didn't get to see it.
I told you. I said, watch your head. But you didn't want to move. You were like,
I was
stuck.
enthralled with the here.
Put the link in the thing.
No, you could play it again if you want.
Why don't you bring it up so you can watch it full up? I don't know. I can't.
You'll have to just Google the submarine drug thing. CBS Real News had it. We're not going to get a chance to play the Deneen Borelli video that I had pulled up, just to let you guys know. You can go to Facebook Silences Deneen, Deneen Borelli. I'm going to put the link in the description.
Thank you. So our prayers are out to Maia. Up to 25 inches of rain to hit Louisiana. I just wanted to
Well, it started yesterday, didn't it?
Yeah, I don't know. You guys tell me. I don't even know if you guys are even here. Is May here?
No.
Maybe they're without
She has a birthday
power.
next week.
Maybe they are
Yeah,
underwater.
she said that they do lose power frequently, even in like regular storms. But they did batten down the hatches and the whole 9 yards. So
I wanted to point that out and say a prayer for Maia in Louisiana right now.
Yeah.
Okay, Epstein.
Here we go.
All right,
here we go now.
The labor secretary under Trump, Alex Acosta, has resigned. He was part of the plea deal that gave Jeffrey Epstein 18 months, but he was able to leave all day, do whatever he wanted, and just had to sleep at a county jail at night.
Right. Wow.
Acosta has even said that he was told from higher ups to to drop the case, basically. This was a horrible thing. There were people very angry at the outcome of this. There were many victims, and this was in the Florida district, Palm Beach area, and so it was the New York area that's bringing it up. Now, it was Epstein lawyers were arguing that this was old news, but new victims have come forward because the prosecutors laid out what they found in his home were pictures. And a defense lawyer, somebody said this is a defense lawyer's nightmare, where you literally have a disc that says nude pics girls on a CD. Okay, with girls that they're girls.
Right.
There are interviews with young girls talking about how women would come to their school, identify young girls who were vulnerable, parents who had died, people who needed money, and they would bring them back to Epstein's house and say that Epstein wanted to. I could show you the video.
Who are these women doing such a thing?
Who are the women?
Oh my gosh.
I guess I should give you one idea of of what one girl had said, and many of them would go back and get. This was 7 months ago. This is one girl. Remember, this is some graphic content.
Whoa.
I think this is.
I was young, I was scared, I knew these people were powerful, I didn't know what would happen if I said no, I didn't know what would happen if I reported them. That 16-year-old girl just let it happen. And that was how I got into the abuse with Jeffrey and Ghislaine.
Virginia Roberts was working in the spa at Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago club in Palm Beach when British socialite Ghislaine Maxwell introduced her to multimillionaire Jeffrey Epstein.
The training started immediately. I mean, it was everything down to how to give a blowjob, how to be quiet, be subservient, give Jeffrey what he wants. A lot of this training came from Ghislaine herself. And being a woman, it kind of surprises you that a woman could actually let stuff like that happen. But
unbelievable.
Why would a girl do this? She had her over, and this is the same story. Have them over for just some cheese and crackers and some wine. Send them home with $300. Then they say Jeffrey Epstein knows you're in some trouble, knows you need some money. So Epstein would come and he'd have a girl and he'd give him a tour. Then they would start out as a regular massage, $300. And then Epstein would say, would you do this? More money. Right. Would you do this? More money. Before you know it, the girls are being raped. And they're all under 18. Some of them are 14 years old. He tells them, I like younger girls, older women, they're fake and blah, blah, blah. And
it's disgusting.
The idea is that he hasn't been locked up. And there are lots and lots of these girls. And what I have here is this article that says Jeffrey Epstein's defense team is arguing their client should be released on house arrest. They're saying the prosecutor is saying no because he has airplanes, he has all this stuff, and the defense is like no, we'll watch him, we'll put an anklet bracelet on him, we'll watch him.
No.
But according to the Miami Herald, which revived prosecutors, this is Miami Herald did this. Even Alan Dershowitz, whose name has been brought through the mud because he's actually a defense lawyer for Epstein, he wanted the case to come forward. And the Miami Herald has Mike Cernovich and Hurwitz. So at least 4 more women have contacted David Boies, a New York power lawyer who represents some of Epstein's victims. At least 10 others have approached other lawyers who have previously represented Epstein's victims. These girls will go back to their school and they get more girls. So there's lots and lots and lots of girls. Now, how did they keep them quiet? I don't know. But I do know that in Florida, victims came forward, and it was the upper echelons of the government, which is why this guy Acosta in our labor that Trump had on his cabinet, or not his cabinet, but in his administration, he resigned because he was part of this sweetheart deal that Epstein got.
Yeah.
Let's see. Following Epstein's arrest on Saturday in New Jersey, 4 women have reached out. About 14. The people we are speaking to were all underage victims in Florida and New York. They are not individuals whose claims have previously been part of any law enforcement investigation. So they're saying it's an effective message. More and more people are, more and more young girls are coming forward. So I'm going to finish this girl's interview. Obviously, if you have any children in the room, it's probably not
let it happen, but to groom you into doing it. And then there's Jeffrey who's telling you, I want it this way. No, go slower and don't do that and do this.
That's very creepy.
Now this is part of a deposition, sworn deposition that this thing happened to her.
You're just thrown into a world that you don't understand, and you don't know how to, you're screaming on the inside and you don't know how to let it come out. And you just become this numb figure who refuses to feel and refuses to speak and all you do is obey. That's it. And eventually it led to, well, now we're going to experiment and we're going to try you with another guy and see how you go. So they sent me to an island with a professor, and I basically had to do what I did for Jeffrey for him. So it's very private. It's the perfect world for a billionaire getting away with what he was doing. He could hold big parties there and have huge orgies there, and nobody would have any idea what was going on because it was so quiet and so protected. And it started with 1, and then it trickled into 2, and then so on and so forth. And, before you know it, I'm being lent out to politicians and to academics and to people royalty.
Roberts claimed in an affidavit that 2 of the men that Epstein lent her out to were attorney Alan Dershowitz and Prince Andrew, the Duke of York.
No way.
Dershowitz and Prince Andrew have both denied any involvement with Roberts. A judge later struck Roberts' affidavit from the court record, but the ruling did not address the veracity of her allegations. Dershowitz said he was nonetheless vindicated. Logs from Epstein's private jet, nicknamed the Lolita Express, show a host of high-powered politicians, academics, and celebrities.
It's called Lolita Express for a reason. That was a vessel for him to be able to abuse girls and get away with it without anybody being alarmed or any alarm bells going off. It was all the same no matter where you went. All Jeffrey cared about was, go find me more girls. To me,
remember, there are names of like Candy and da-da-da-da-da-da on these flight logs. Okay? Why are they going?
Till to this day, it is my biggest shame that I carry around that I will never get rid of. And I'm really, really sad that I brought other girls my age and even younger into a world that they should have never been introduced to.
At age 19, Robert said that she was sent to Thailand to take a massage course and to pick up a girl for Epstein. Instead, she fell in love and moved to Australia, where she and her husband live with their 3 children.
Good for her.
I escaped. I called Jeffrey to let him know that I was not coming back and I was not bringing the little Thai girl back, and he said, you know what, have a nice life, and hung up the phone. And that was it. And I thought, I'm off the hook, I'm off the chain, I can go, I can live free. 2007, I was pregnant with my middle son, and I get a phone call from Ghislaine one day in Australia. I'm in Australia. I was like, how the hell did she just find me? Like, I've been out of their life for so long. What's going on? She's like, have you talked to anybody? Have you told anybody what's happened? Like, have you reported us or anything? And I said, no, I haven't spoken to anybody. Okay, good. You stay like that. You stay quiet. The next day, Jeffrey calls me with his lawyer on the phone. And he asks me the same questions. Have you talked to anybody? Are you going to report me? Are you going to talk to anybody? I'm like, where is this all coming from? Like, what is going on? The next day, I get another phone call. And this time, it's from an FBI agent. Like, hi, I'm blah, blah, blah from the FBI. Have you given Jeffrey Epstein a blowjob? Did you have a shower with Jeffrey Epstein? Did you ever bring any girls over for Jeffrey Epstein? I'm like, I don't even know who you are. I mean, unless you can come over here and show me some official documentation that says that you're with the FBI, I am not saying a word to you. And about 6 months later, I get a knock at the door, and it's the Australian Federal Police. It's a 12-page document about Jeffrey Epstein and what he had done and how, you know, I was a victim, and they've identified me as one.
Wow. They found her.
It takes a long time to start the healing process. I mean, I will never heal. There are pieces from me that can never be put back together. Wow. It takes so long to get to a point where you're able just to speak about it. I mean, it took me having a daughter and looking at this beautiful, young, innocent baby to say, I want to speak out about it now. You know, if we can make that point across, that doesn't matter how rich you are, it doesn't matter how powerful you are, there are girls out there that will speak up, and I don't care if it's 10 years later or 15 years later, whenever you're ready to do it, you do it, you know, and you protect the ones that are younger than us. You protect the ones that we didn't protect before.
Wow.
These guys will get it in the end, because us girls are not going to sit here and just let this keep happening.
So Roberts and about 2 other girls sued Epstein for damages. The cases were all settled, and the amounts were kept confidential. Roberts also sued Maxwell, and that case was also settled for money. Maxwell denied any wrongdoing. So obviously things are going to go, poop is hitting the fan. And I wanted to play that so that you get an idea of this is for real. And there are lots of other stories, and they're all very similar, and there's lots and lots of girls, and they're all coming forward. Other people said, you know, the rich and powerful, they are so perverted. They've got the money, they've got the planes, they've got the, and then they're like, and then they just, you go to the next level of perversion, and it keeps going, and it keeps going, and it keeps going. And it's power, and it corrupts your mind, and it's satanic. And I know that Patriot Gallery is going to be like, you can't leave us like this, Leah, with that. So let me give you some good news before we go on to something a little else.
So hang on. The punchline is that he's been arrested.
He is arrested.
That's
now,
the whole story.
Here's the good news on this. And I was going to round it off, but yeah. The good news is that these prosecutors, you see their fierceness in their eyes.
Yeah.
They want to eat this guy for lunch.
And you know what? I think the reason why they are so hungry is because they have all of the information. They are like a dog on a bone. I mean, they've got it all.
Right. And this is very similar. And what I would love to tell people in like the UK who call people racist, hey, guess what? Jeffrey Epstein is white. Most of his, like Prince Andrew or whatever, he's a white guy.
Yeah.
All these people who are named as perpetrators, most of them are white, and we hate them, and we want them to go down. Yeah. Okay? If there is a common denominator there, we need to call out the common denominator, right, which is rich and powerful, right?
Sure.
The common denominator in the UK with the same 14, 16-year-old age group
gangs.
Are the Pakistani rape gangs. These
exactly.
are all men, and there's a perversion in men who want to do to control and manipulate and to abuse girls.
Yeah.
And so you have to like throw out everything and say, okay, in the UK, this big thing is happening. Thousands of victims, by the way, and they are Pakistani, and their mindset is because of Islam, they can do this, and they can do this to the white girls.
Yeah.
If Jeffrey Epstein's victims were black, you wouldn't stop hearing about it, I think, because that would be a white on black thing, and it just would be a bigger deal. But here's the thing: it's like we're calling out abuse, and this is what people. Oh, Trump's a racist, or conservatives are racist. If conservatives are racist, why would we spend so much time trying to expose this dirty white guy?
Yeah.
And his dirty white guy friends.
Right.
We hate perversion and abuse, and we'll call it out, and we have to be like profilers and say, okay, in this particular case, these particular people are going after these particular people. Right. It's just common sense. It's logic.
Yeah.
Okay? So here's some good news. The founder of BET, Black Entertainment Television, Robert Johnson, says that the Democratic Party has become too liberal to beat President Trump in the upcoming 2020 election. Wow. In an interview with CNBC, Johnson, the country's first African-American billionaire, says, the party, in my opinion, has gone too far. So this is really crazy, and I think you guys are really going to
A little earlier, we were
this.
talking about some of the latest developments between President Trump and President Macron, this effort to send a French diplomat to Iran to work on the JCPOA, kind of resurrect it from the dead.
Let's see. Where are you at? Come on, buddy.
And the Europeans understand that by applying joint pressure in the form of sanctions will move the Iranians closer to a serious negotiation about dealing with some of the problems of nuclear armament and preparing nuclear weapons. And I think President Trump has taken the right position in saying to the Iranians, look, I'm not looking for a fight, but I am looking for a change in the nuclear arms agreement as related to the processing of nuclear weapons. And if the Europeans go along with that, I'm not sure that the Iranians have many other options in terms of the impact of the sanctions on the economy. And if they do that, I think the Iranians have an opportunity to join the world community in a positive way, particularly moving away from using surrogates to engage in sort of military action in the region.
And more destabilization there. I'm wondering, given your position in the U.S. and your familiarity with what many have called Trump's brinksmanship when it comes to politics, talk me through a little bit, how do you feel about the economy today and where we're headed? Because a lot of people have been very, very worried, obviously, about this U.S.-China trade spat. The G20 seemed to quiet down some of those fears. Where do you think it's headed?
Well, I think the economy is doing absolutely great, and it's particularly reaching into populations that heretofore have had very bad problems in terms of jobs, unemployment, and the opportunities that come with full employment. So African American unemployment is at its lowest level, Hispanic unemployment, women. So I give President Trump, and I've said this before on Squawk Box, I give President a lot of credit for moving the economy in a positive direction that's benefiting a large number of Americans. I think the tax cuts clearly help stimulate the economy. I think business people have a little bit more confidence in the way the economy is going, and I think it's beginning to have some impact globally. We still have some issues to deal with the China trade negotiation issues, but overall, if you look at the U.S. economy and you look at the number of people who are no longer looking for jobs, but now sort of seeing the opportunities for job growth, you got to give the president an A+ for that.
Walk me through what happens next in your opinion when it comes to that sort of rhetoric versus the real news, for example. So what we hear coming out of the United States so often to the international community is so much rhetoric between the Democrats and the Republicans. It feels as if nothing's getting done in Washington, but you're saying, hey, listen, what he's doing is working.
Well, that's the problem. I think that, I met President Trump a number of years ago when he was first president-elect. And what I came away from meeting the president, he's got his own style. And a lot of people are not going to like that style. But when he says he's going to try to do something economically, you have to give him credit for taking some specific steps to do that. But overall, if you look at what's going on between the Republican Party and the Democratic Party, but it's really President Trump and the Democrats, there's really no give or take in terms of trying to come to an understanding how best to run the country. And if business people are concerned about anything, it's the clear sort of partisan politics that's become very wicked and very mean, and that's not helping the American people, and it's not helping America as a global nation. So to me, I think the issue is, as a long-term Democrat, I think the Democrats need to find a message, and I think President Trump needs to sort of step back a little bit from some of his sort of, a little bit sort of showmanship. But at the end of the day, the American people are looking for somebody who can deliver economically, deliver on opportunities, and focus on what's in the best interest of the country.
And walk me through, when you take a look at the Democratic field today, who's looking good to you? Because you have a long history of the Democratic Party at your fingertips. Who looks good today?
You know, right now I'm not taking a position on the Democratic Party. I've long time been a centrist in terms of Democratic politics. The party, in my opinion, has moved, for me personally, too far to the left. And for that reason, I don't have a candidate in this particular, in the party at this time. I think at the end of the day, if a Democrat is going to beat Trump, that person, he or she, is going to have to move to the center. And you can't wait too long to do that. Because the message of some of the programs that the Democrats are pushing are not resonating with the majority of the American people.
Or
it's really
Democrats.
working for the party for the primaries. But if you're going to win a general election against President Trump, who has a lockdown his base, and everybody's going to contest for the middle and the independents, you can't be too far left in that process.
And that's the thing. Everybody's going to contest for the middle people and the centrists and the independents.
Did you see the twinkle in the eye? When he's marking that box, he's voting for Trump.
I know.
He ain't going to say it. He might not say it until like 2020.
Right.
That twinkle in that man's eye says, I'm voting for Donald Trump.
It's twinkling.
And I want y'all to vote for Donald Trump.
Yeah.
He says, I'm a lifelong Democrat. What that does for Democrats is they're like, whoa, 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 whoa. They have literally, they're like this little Disney character. He tries to pick up all the pieces of corn and they just kind of all fall out.
Right.
So the Democrats thought that they had the black people vote down.
Right.
But when they're talking about giving all the free health care to illegal immigrants, when our own people are homeless,
Exactly.
our own people are pooping in the streets, our own people see, here's the thing, guys. I'm not for, she might have to go potty.
Okay.
I'm not, there's the leash down here if you want to take her out and take him out. I thought I had one down here. The Democratic Party is losing black people because black people don't want to spend their hard-earned dollars on illegal immigrants, right? Let's see. Did you guys, Michelle, read some comments in a while? Let's see. You guys are talking about the different scandals. Tommy Robinson is in jail because the upper class perverts are frightened that they might be exposed. Yeah. Where are the parents involved in this? How do youngsters fly off to an island with billionaires without the parents questioning it? That's a good question. Let's see. There is no, I think they got rid of the statute of limitations. I think that's another reason why Epstein is able to be prosecuted. I wanted to point this out because I was really disappointed. Ben Garrison writes, somebody sent us his cartoon book. Where is it? It's over here. Hey, Ben, baby. Oh, it's down here. I have a cartoon. Somebody gave me Ben Garrison cartoon Trump. He was disinvited, and I was, because this thing here, Soros, I think Rockefellers or something, James Mattis, it says, it's important to know the name in the upper right-hand corner. The Rothschilds have been the subject of anti-Semitic conspiracy theories for centuries. It is not anti-Semitic to call the Rothschilds out for being bankers. For the longest time, I didn't even know they were Jewish. It doesn't even mean anything to me that they were Jewish. They were just a rich banking family. And the fact that you can just cry anti-Semitism when, if a Christian becomes some sort of crazed banker and funds wars, then you're anti-Christian now? No. Because George Soros happens to be Jewish and the Rothschilds happen to be Jewish. There are lots of people called Christians who do bad things too. But Ben Garrison said yesterday I had discussed with the White House and we came to the conclusion that my presence at the social media summit would be a media distraction from the president's message. They were nice about it, but naturally I'm disappointed because I mentioned Soros and the Rothschilds in a cartoon. The perception from the Anti-Defamation League and those on the left is that I'm a blatantly anti-Semitic cartoonist, and they were all dancing a tantrum because Trump invited me. As a result, the White House invite was rescinded. I was asked to remain silent about the whole thing. I said I would remain silent, and I did remain silent, but then overnight they released the statement saying Ben Garrison will no longer be attending. The news was on CNN, World News, and elsewhere. We are disappointed the White House released this news. I thought we would both be ignoring the entire thing. It is obvious to anyone with common sense I'm not an anti-Semite. I have received many emails of support from my Jewish friends. I'm not anti-Semitic merely because the ADL says I am. They are not the final word on such things. In fact, they continue to commit libel against me by having an altered cartoon on their site. It features a cartoon with the face of the offensive Jewish stereotype passed over my cartoon. My signature remains on that cartoon, and they are holding it up as an example of my anti-Semitism. The fake news media is only attacking me to attack the president. I will not let this stand. I will continue to draw cartoons to speak out against those who must be held accountable. It would be ironic to have to sue the Anti-Defamation League for defamation. Yet they continue to libel Ben Garrison with fake news, and I really hope they do sue because he did not do this cartoon. The Jewish control the Federal Reserve. He does not have this cartoon. It's not his. And I am disappointed that they asked him not to come, and I am disappointed that you couldn't. That Alex Jones was asked not to come, and people were asked not to come. But the way that Ben Garrison handled this and the way that Alex Jones is handling it shows that they believe in a higher cause. Yeah. And that the people that we support and the people that kind of were on the same team with, they support a higher cause. And for the party that says you're not allowed to label somebody's gender and that they're allowed to say whatever they want to say, white supremacists will come out and say I'm a white supremacist. Yeah. Anti-Semites come out and say I'm an anti-Semite. Yeah. Racist people come out and say I don't like black people. Yeah. Racist people,
that's a really good point.
They come out and say it. Right. If somebody comes and says I drew a cartoon about the Rothschilds and Soros, not because they're Jewish but because they're evil people, then you have to take that. Okay, you can't just say it makes it nothing evil against. If there's 2 Jews on a page and 2 Jewish people are doing bad things and you can't say it because somehow it's anti-Semite,
it makes it so that there are these protected people groups that it's kind of like being an illegal alien in a sanctuary city. You're allowed to do anything illegal that you want just because you are an illegal alien or just because you are here, as whatever you're saying that you're wanting asylum or so forth. So
there are real anti-Semites. Ilhan Omar and Rashid Tlaib, they're anti-Semites.
So I want to go at Facebook and I want to go at YouTube, and specifically Facebook recently, who has taken away our live streaming ability, and I want to go at them and say, you are doing this just because I'm a woman. Right. Now, if you're a white male, you have nothing. Okay, but you're doing this because I'm a woman. You're doing this because my income is low and you've looked it up. What did you just fling at me? She's going to eat that. But seriously, you have to find your niche. You have to find whatever it is about you that makes you some sort of protected interest
work
group.
For people on the right.
Exactly.
It doesn't. Because that woman, what you just
shared,
you're
saying something
she's a black woman conservative.
Right.
But she's censored.
Right.
But I want to end on hope. They had the social media summit. And it can't continue on forever. And the lemmings are going so far over the left. AOC was giving a elaborate monologue on the illegal aliens.
Sores that I saw in their mouths because they were only allowed to be fed unnutritious food. I believed them when they said they were sleeping on concrete floors for 2 months. I believed them. And what was worse about this, Mr. Chairman, was the fact that there were American flags hanging all over these facilities, that children were being separated from their parents in front of an American flag, that women were being called these names under an American flag. We cannot allow for this.
Congresswoman passes out.
Okay.
No, kind of stops her on her.
Oops, I'm sorry. Oh, geez. Whoops. Here's the thing. Canker sores because they're not being fed nutritious food.
She probably just said, they probably just had canker
So,
sores.
no, she said they have canker sores because they're not being fed nutritious food. That's what she said. So, I'm like, all right, they come over here and they're being given, I've seen what they're being given. They're being given food, but because they haven't been sat down and given, a 5-course meal of steak and potatoes and carbs and milk and whatever, and a hot cooked meal by grandma because they illegally crossed over the border, then all of a sudden, just because you're giving them foods that we have to offer that are non-perishable,
right,
then we're some sort of evil bad guy.
And some of them are getting hot cooked meals, by the way. It just depends on how long you've been there.
I'm saying this is absolutely ridiculous. The fact that anybody's getting a hot cooked meal after they've come over the border illegally.
I know.
Is ridiculous.
I know.
This is insanity. I can't even stop it. Oh my gosh.
All right. So guys, we're going to sing a song. Because Michelle and I have had this song in our heads. It would be easier if this was back somehow or if we flipped it up, but I can try my best.
I might be able to back it up. Let's see. I'll get what you need here.
So guys, I know that I know with the Epstein thing it was hard to cover. But it's not, because guess what, guys? We cover a lot of this craziness and perversion, and nothing ever gets done about it. We haven't covered Epstein at all, I don't think. And what if our first covering of Epstein, okay, we're good, is because something is being done?
Right.
Donald Trump is doing more against sex trafficking than obviously Bill Clinton, boom ching. But certainly more than any other president has ever done. And Epstein was a sex trafficker. And there are lots of people being arrested. There are a lot of good people behind the scenes doing a lot of good things. And when A.G. Barr came in, he asked for certain things to be looked at. Now, there's still, the deep state is still there. So, and just to let you know that our Chief Justice Roberts, appointed by George Bush as a conservative, he is a liberal. Mm-hmm. The court is actually 5-4 liberal. The only way, if we go, if Ruth Bader Ginsburg isn't gone, and because then and Donald Trump puts another conservative in because the Senate, Ruth Bader Ginsburg's trying to hold it out, and all you can do is hope. I don't want anything to happen to her. But what you can do is pray.
She does need to retire.
You can pray that God would move upon her heart to get her out of there.
Right. I want you to back up as much as you can so we're as far away from the mic because this is going to get loud. And if it gets too loud, guys, let me know in the comments and I'll see if I can turn it down.
So, anyways,
I might go ahead and turn it down
if she does we'll be at 5-5. Yeah, we'll be at 5-5. So
I did just turn Leah down. I did just turn you down. Do you need the cords up again? Probably.
No, I don't. How many are there? Because the Supreme, this isn't, I don't think I'm quoting it right. I thought there was an odd number.
And there have been different numbers over the years.
There are 9 justices.
That's why they always call it like a 5-4 decision.
You're right. Forgive me. That's what I meant to say. If Ruth Bader Ginsburg is gone, of course I was doing just Milford math. We will be at 5-4. So, right. but we won't be at 6-3.
Yeah.
Like the left is telling you.
Mm-hmm. That's
what I meant to say.
Right.
Forgive me. That's what I meant to say. All right. So, sometimes you need somebody to give you the note to start. I don't think it's that high. No, it's not that high.
We can lower it down. So this song came up on the radio today, and I asked Leah if we could sing it. And I was like, you know this song? And she's like, I've only heard it a couple times. Mm-hmm. So we're going from a couple times to singing it for you.
I've heard it several times on the radio, actually.
Well, then why did you say a couple? You're like, I heard it a couple times. I said, of course you know this
I'm gonna get her to start me off.
As cruel as a grave.
Okay, yeah.
I think that's where I was singing it.
That seemed high. That seemed high. Shame is a prison as cruel as a grave. Shame is a robber, and he's come to take my name. Love is my redeemer, lifting up from the ground. Love is the power where my freedom song is found. There ain't no grave gonna hold my body down. There ain't no grave gonna hold my body down. When I hear that trumpet sound, I'm gonna rise up out the ground. There ain't no grave gonna hold my body down. Fear is a liar with a smooth velvet tongue. Oh, fear is a tyrant, and he's always telling me to run. Love's resurrection, and love is a trumpet sound. Love is my weapon, I'm gonna take my giants down. There ain't no grave gonna hold my body down. No, no, there ain't no grave. No, there ain't no grave gonna hold my body down. When I hear that trumpet sound, I'm gonna rise up out the ground, 'cause there ain't no grave gonna hold my body down. No, gonna hold me down. Good. It was a battle. I don't know. We didn't practice that verse. I don't know how the words go.
It's the same
know,
thing.
but I didn't have the flow.
Shame is a prison.
It was a battle.
There was a battle, a war between life and death, death and life. There on a tree, the Lamb of God was crucified. He went on down to hell, and he took back every key. And he rose up as a lion, and he's setting all the captives free. And there ain't no grave gonna hold my body down. No, no, there ain't no grave. No, there ain't no grave gonna hold my body down. Hold me down. When I hear that trumpet sound, I'm gonna rise up out the ground, 'cause there ain't no grave gonna hold my body down. No, no, here we go. Hold me down. Shame is a prison as cruel as a grave. Oh, shame is a robber, and he's come to take my name. Love is my redeemer, lifting me up from the ground. And love is the power, my freedom song is found. 'Cause there ain't no grave gonna hold my body down. No, there ain't no grave. No, there ain't no grave gonna hold my body down. When I hear that trumpet sound, I'm gonna rise up out of the ground. 'Cause there ain't no grave gonna hold my body down. Gonna hold me down. Fear is a liar with a smooth and velvet tongue. Oh, fear is a tyrant, and he's always telling me to run. Love is resurrection, love is a trumpet sound. And love is my weapon, I'm gonna take my giants down. 'Cause there ain't no grave gonna hold my body down. Gonna hold me down. There ain't no grave
death and life. Oh, there on a tree, the Lamb of God was crucified. He went on down to hell, and he took back every key. And he rose up as a lion, and he's setting all the captives free. No, there ain't no grave gonna hold my body down. No, there ain't no grave. No, there ain't no grave gonna hold my body down. Gonna hold me down. When I hear that trumpet sound, I'm gonna rise up out the ground. 'Cause there ain't no grave gonna hold my body down. Hold me down. I'm gonna sing verse 1 again, all by yourself.
No, you sing it.
Nope.
Because
You know exactly how this goes, so you sing it. Sing.
Shame is a prison as cruel as a grave. Oh, shame is a robber. He's come to take my name. Love is my redeemer, lifting me from the ground. Oh, love is the power where my freedom song is found. Oh, there ain't no grave can hold my body down. No, there ain't no grave gonna hold my body down. When I hear that trumpet sound, I'm gonna rise up out the ground. 'Cause there ain't no grave gonna hold me down.
Let's see. I was gonna try to bring it up a little bit.
Oh, good luck.
No, never mind.
Okay, hot
That was
dog.
good.
There it is.
Yeah, we'll work on that one.
Well, we're going to end it at under 2 hours so that Mom can upload it to Bitchute. We love you guys. God loves you. God bless. Remember, it is not just a conspiracy theory if it's actually the truth that Jeffrey Epstein has a plane that is called the Lolita Express, and there have been hundreds of girls that have gone there and been sexually abused, and we've been saying it and saying it and saying it, and finally, we are justified. And the truth has come out, and it is a beautiful and glorious day. And I pray for these victims and what they've gone through, because healing from something like that is very, very difficult. And the fact that this young lady was able to come out and say what she said, I'm so proud of her. She said, you know, I carry this shame with me. And I was like, you know what, honey? You should not be ashamed of anything for the rest of your life. The fact that you were brave enough to come out and stand up and speak, I mean, you should hold your head high for the rest of your life and into glory. And I love that she was wearing white, which depicts purity.
Yeah, I
and
actually
thought
did like
was
that too.
awesome.
Yeah.
So we're going to be back here on Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with our European and UK news. We try to show up here on time, but our schedule is such that life is literally
do you want to tell them what
insane.
happened today?
So yeah, I thought we had it on lockdown that we were going to go live on time at 6 o'clock. I was sitting in my chair.
Wait, you had it on lockdown. It was something else that got unlocked.
What?
Susie unlocked
I know, that's
herself.
what I'm getting.
Yeah, get it? You were on lockdown, they weren't.
So I'm sitting in my chair. I'm getting everything set up. There's a lot to do to prepare for the show and stuff like that. And I'm like, wow, we're really going to be here at 6 o'clock. And then Mom yells down, there's a pig out. So I'm literally dressed like this with my hair. But you know what it's like as resistance chicks? Most of the time, we're covered in mud or dirt or out walking dogs or what have you. Patriot Gallery likes us to look a little nice when we do the show. So I try to wait till the very last minute to look nice so I literally am out there. I've got the pig. We were figuring out how she got out because she got out in a spot never before. She put a hole in the fencing. So I'm carrying a board in one hand and a drill and screws in my pocket. I'm walking in mud, literally, dressed like this. I've got pigs rubbing up against my legs. I've got dirt everywhere. And I ended up having to get a big 8-foot sheet of plywood, and we screwed it in and we fixed it. And I said, Leah, we should have a TV show. People follow people dressed like this around, getting covered in mud, playing with pigs, because they got out right before the show. There is always something that happens. There's always something that happens around here. We can never, we make promises to people. And Jay knows I'm talking to him because he's been asking me to help him with the Patriot channel and Vituvo, and I haven't been able to do it because we try not to actually make promises. We always say around here, as the Lord leads. Why? Because something is always gonna happen around here at God's Little Acre, and indeed it always
flooding.
It always does happen.
Cars have been breaking down.
Right. The only people in this world that are able to count on us are our clients. They get top priority. I mean, you doggies got to get let out. They get top priority. So I'm really glad that you guys were here with us. We love you. God loves you. God bless. Send us your letters. We'll read them on air. P.O. Box 107, Milford, Ohio 45150. We want to hear from you. And be blessed. Oh, guess what? You know what we have not told them?
No.
Trump is coming to town. Coming to town.
Guess what, guys?
Coming to town.
Trump's coming to Cincinnati.
Trump is coming to Cincinnati August 1st.
August 1st.
Now, we're going to have to literally camp out. Maybe not the night before, but we're going to get there bright and early the day of, in the morning, with chairs. I don't care. Actually, our clients are not going to take precedent that day. I have some visits on there that we're going to be able to work out. But beyond that, anybody that calls... we're going to take turns sitting in this chair in line. And we are going August 1st to the U.S. Bank Arena. I'm really, really excited about this, and we will be covering it. I don't know how we're going to stream it. I don't know how we're going to do it, but we're going to do it.
US Bank Arena is going to, it holds, I think it holds like 20,000 people.
Well, there will be more than 20,000 people, and it's in downtown Cincinnati. The traffic down there, the driving and parking down there is atrocious. It's awful.
We'll find a way.
We will find a way.
Doors open at 7. But we're going to try to get down there early.
7 p.m.
The doors open at 4.
4, no, because the thing is at 7, yeah.
We're going to make it happen, guys. This is one of those things we're going to make it happen.
I think what's going to happen, more than likely, is that Kansas and I will go down and sit all day, and you'll just be doing the pet visits until it's time to come down.
We'll probably switch on that day, because I'm going to be on it.
I don't know what's going to happen, but we're going, and I'm really, really super excited about that, so I wanted to tell you.
I don't even know what we've got going on. I'm going to have to make some cancellations.
No, we didn't have to make any cancellations. It's just the neighbor across the street is the only one that we have, so.
Oh, dear. Okay. Gotcha.
All right. We'll see you guys back here on Sunday.
All right. We love you guys.
Enjoy the rest of your Friday evening. Look how much shorter than me you look standing here. I have just regular shoes on. You're like a tiny person.
Ain't no grave will hold me down.
Now we're like the same tiny person. Okay. All right. Good night, guys.
I was cold.